has been hit with some very mixed reviews after its opening couple of days. I've just got around to seeing it, so here is what I thought. Hey, welcome back to a brand new video, a brand new movie review. Today I have finally got around to seeing Borderlands, and here is a video of my thoughts. And before I do start sharing the thoughts, let's just remind you that these are just my thoughts. Don't let this dictate whether or not you go and see the film, because you may go and see it and feel completely differently to me, and that's okay, because movies aren't made to cater for everyone. So without any further ado, let's start talking about it. And I think the first thing to start talking about this film is the fact that it took me a good 20-25 minutes to really get into the movie, to get into the vibe, into the swing of what this movie is about. And for me, if it's taken me that long to get into the vibe of a movie, it's almost just an instant red flag that this film just isn't really for me. And that is really how I felt about this film. It did take me a little while to get into it. Once I did get into it, it wasn't too bad. But if it's going to be a film I like, I feel like I know straight away. And with this, it did take me a fair while to get into this film, which is almost to me like 20 minutes just wasted if I'm not really enjoying the film, not getting to terms with what the film is about and the vibe of the film. So that is something to kind of note, really, if you're about to see this film in cinemas. But to me, it's a meh film. It's pretty mediocre. There's nothing special about it, in my opinion. It's a film that's been done countless times. A group of people in uncharted lands trying to find a vault, treasure, a map, some sort of family heirloom. It's all been done before. And because of that, trying to make a film of this nature really effectively is really hard now, because it's just been done in so many different ways, in so many different forms. It's been done in TV shows and series, as well as countless animated films and live action films. It's just been done to death in many different ways. So trying to do this effectively is of course going to be incredibly difficult. And I feel like this is why Borderlands has been hit with some very mixed reviews. But there are some humorous moments throughout the film. There's some sprinkle of humour dotted around the film, which to me is kind of why I enjoyed the film as much as I did. Without the humour, if it lacked the humour, I really feel like this would have just been a really low film that I just wouldn't have enjoyed at all. I feel like the humour is the only bits that really lifted the film up for me. If it didn't have that, I feel like definitely for me this film would have really struggled. I would have really struggled to get through the full 90 minutes that the film is. So the humorous parts of the film is what really held it up for me. Jack Black as Claptrap is a really effective character. I really enjoyed him as the voiceover artist for Claptrap. I feel like it really suited him as a person and as a character. I just think it really worked. And some of his really funny, kind of humorous lines are the best part about his character within the film. And again, that co-aligns with the humorous parts dotted throughout the film. So that worked, but it wasn't anything special. I cannot tell you how much I'm trying to find the positives in this film, but remind you that I didn't think it was anything special. So these are good things, but it's still pretty mediocre. The story, it lacks direction almost. It feels like this is a film that's been made with no purpose. It's obviously based on a video game. I have no knowledge of the video game. I presume the video game is called Borderlands. I should hope so, but I have no knowledge on it at all. If you are an avid gamer, this film is obviously going to be for you. If you play the game religiously, if you really enjoy the game, then this film is going to be more towards you. And I feel like if you have no knowledge on the video game or video games in general, then I feel like you're almost set up to not enjoy this film, because the film has almost been made for people who already know everything about the characters and the storyline. More on that in a minute. But the story and the film, to me, lacks direction. They try and find this vault. Okay. Then what? Why? I don't know really why they're doing the things they're doing in this film. Fine, you may go and find this but then what? Do you know what I mean? There just felt like there was no direction, there was no purpose of this film. Dare I say it felt a little bit of a cash grab for the people that are fans of the video game, if that makes sense. That's how I felt, and that is kind of how I felt watching the entire film last night. Nothing really stood out for me. But back on the premise of if you kind of don't enjoy the video game, you're set up to fail, I feel like they've made it in a way where in order to understand what's going on, you've had to have played the video game. They never set up anything I didn't really see about understanding who these characters are, why they're here, and why they're the way they are. We get a little bit of it at the very, very, very end of the film about the main character. But that aside, there's nothing really to introduce and build relationships on the characters that we follow throughout the film. With that in mind, it makes it very hard to feel emotion for these characters. There's a numerous amount of times where the movie makers kind of push this feeling of you need to feel sympathy, you need to feel some sort of emotion towards these characters, and sort of pushing it towards us. I can't speak on anyone else or on behalf of anyone in the screen with me, but I didn't. I was kind of sat there going, right, okay, I don't really feel anything. And a big part of that, I think, is because it was almost like I didn't know who these characters were. I've been watching them for the past 45 minutes, but I actually don't know anything about them, so I struggle to find any emotion for them. That's not to say that in every film, in order to feel emotion for a character, you have had to have learned about their past, because that's not true. But if you try and make people feel emotion for characters without knowing anything about their personality, you've got to do it in a really effective way, and Borderlands doesn't. That's the biggest thing for me. It just doesn't do it in a very effective way. There's nothing memorable. To me, it's a pretty mediocre cash grab. So there you go, a very, very boring movie review today on Borderlands. It's in cinemas across the UK right now if you want to go and check it out. And as always, you may not feel the way I felt about this film, so don't let this video put you off going to see the film. If you're a fan of video games, if you're an avid gamer, this film is definitely for you, because you're the target audience, really. If you play video games religiously, this is a film for you. But before I sign off, let's of course wrap up this movie review in the way that I wrap up every single movie review that I've ever done. Will I be buying it on DVD, and what do I rate it out of 10? Well, I'm giving this film, sadly, a 4 out of 10. Not for me, pretty mediocre, pretty forgettable, nothing special. It's a shame that it's getting this low of a score. And will I be buying it on physical media, on DVD? Sadly, no. It's a one-time watch. I'm glad I've seen it. I won't be rushing back to see it, and I will not be buying it on DVD. So there you go. There is my thoughts on Borderlands. Like I say, in cinemas across the UK right now. Go and check it out if it's for you. And in the description below is the movie plot, the movie trailer, and a link to my movie review playlists. Not playlists, there's only one, featuring every movie review that I've ever done, and plenty more to come across the end of 2024. Lots of new films coming out for the rest of the year. We've got Moana 2, Mufasa the Lion King, loads to look forward to for the end of 2024, so lots more movie reviews on the way very soon. And other than that, I hope to see you in another video and another movie review very soon.